a couple of weeks ago, we started having a conversation about being oversubscribed here in the newsletter, and I did a video on that and talking about the fact that we probably are looking at our marketing wrong and our business development wrong, and that we're almost begging, and we need to be creating situations of demand versus us begging and creating audience and so on and so forth, right? And that's great. And we talked about the different premises of that. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the video on that. Want your feedback on it. And now I want to talk about another piece of this, right? So now that you've created this audience and you're communicating with them and you're starting to create demand, the next piece of this is creating situations where people are going to miss out. Now, I'm not talking about being artificial. I am not at all talking about being artificial. I'm not talking about being fake. I'm not talking about putting up countdown timers on web pages that say you've got 6 hours to make this purchase, and then once it hits 5 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds, it rolls over and starts all over again. Or if you refresh the page, that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about actually creating environments where there is a cap to the number of people you can serve. Let me give you an example. So we do an ICP workshop, an Ideal Customer Profile workshop, where when we do this workshop, we literally walk you through creating your ideal customer profile. And in that process of creating your ideal customer profile, you walk out of that workshop with a 25-page document, deep dive into your ideal customer. And everyone is guaranteed to do that. Now, the workshop lasts 4 hours long, okay? Here's the deal. In order to make that guarantee, we can't have more than 8 people in the workshop. Like, we just physically can't help more than 8 people in that 4-hour period. And so there is a cap. And so someone is going to miss out. Someone is absolutely going to miss out. So now, how does that look and how does that work? Well, before the workshop, we have our web classes, which you've probably heard of and probably seen us talk about, and they're free. And we invite people to come to our web classes, right? And we teach on a topic for free for about an hour. And then from there, we invite you to the workshop, which is a paid event. Well, if 75 people, 100 people show up to a web class, and we only have 8 slots for the workshop, but more than 8 people want it, people are going to miss out. People are going to miss out. And so you have to create scarcity, and you've heard this in marketing before. We've got to create scarcity. But the days of creating fake scarcity are gone. The days of pulling wool over people's eyes in scarcity are gone. But what is here is the reality that you can create an actual environment in which there's a number of people that you can realistically serve, but the number of people who want it is more than what you can realistically serve. And that's great. That is creating demand. That is being oversubscribed. That is being oversubscribed. Okay? So think about what you're doing. Think about your business. Think about how can I create situations where people are going to miss out. Let's say you have an in-person event, and the in-person event can only hold X number of people. But Y, which is greater than X, number of people show interest. someone's going to miss out, and that's okay. In the book, Oversubscribed, they talk about this, and they talk about an event that they were going to do, and they put it out. They wanted to do an event in Australia. Now, they didn't have a venue. They didn't have an office. They didn't have anything in Australia. They just knew they wanted to do it in one out of two cities. And so they put out that they were going to do this event, or they asked, which city would you want us to do this event in? And people went up and, they voted. I want this city, I want this city, I want this city, I want this city. And so then they came back and they chose one of the cities and they said, okay, so we're thinking about doing an event in this month in this city, and the venue can only hold 200 people, let's say. I don't remember exactly what the number was. If you have interest in finding out more about this event and or pre-registering your interest for this event, join this Facebook group. Okay? Now, in the Facebook group, they reiterated that, hey, we've got 200 seats. And when you come in, drop where you're from and why you want to come to the event or something like that, they said. Well, the short of the story was, if they had 200 seats, they had about 600 people show up and join the Facebook group and start putting comments in the Facebook group about how they wanted to be a part of the event. Well, if 600 people said they want to go and are willing to pay the price, and there are only 200 seats, guess what? 400 of y'all about to miss out. You've created an environment where you're oversubscribed. You've created an environment where there are more buyers than you can service. The very first time that I ever experienced this in my life was back in, I think that was 1998. I think it was 98. It was either 98 or, probably 98. Probably 1998. I was doing promotions for a concert on University of Maryland's campus. It was Wu-Tang. And if you know me, you know I love Wu. And I got to promote that Wu was coming in and do this event. And this was the days where, I think this was one of the first concerts ever to have online ordering. Okay? And you also still had to line up for tickets. So a lot of people line up for tickets and online ordering and so on and so forth. And we did this marketing campaign because we were reopening Ritchie Coliseum, which had a limited number of seats for Wu-Tang that was coming. And we did this campaign just about creating all of this buzz about it and how the seats were going to be limited and it was going to become first come, first serve. And if memory serves me right, the concert sold out in 16 minutes. Now, there were lines of people camping outside of the ticket office the night before to buy tickets. I mean, a line. Hundreds of people in line. Believe me, a lot of those people who stood in that line did not get a ticket because it sold out in 16 minutes. That's the essence of being oversubscribed. That's the essence of being oversubscribed. Luxury brands have been really great at creating this and creating environments where not everybody can get the thing. Okay? Think about how many watches are more expensive on the secondary market than to buy them from the actual retailer. Because it's so hard, they're so limited of a supply from the actual retailer that people are going to miss out from buying it from the retailer. So they buy it from the secondary market and they pay more for it. That is being oversubscribed. And the question is, how do you create that environment for your company and your business? Because when you do, you can control and predict your growth. When you do, your cash flow issues, assuming you're managing your cash well, go away. When you do, a lot of your day-to-day stress goes away. So, How can you get there? Would love to hear your take and your opinion on this.